Hey guys, we are going to talk today about how to convert a fraction to a decimal. The kicker is we are going to do it without a calculator. So this first one is 1/2, and you might be thinking, I know 1/2 is 0.5 as a decimal, but I wanted to start out with one that you would know so that you believe me that this is how we do it, okay? So when I have a fraction, the bar means divide, right? I think sometimes we forget that. But this 1/2 could be written as 1 divided by 2, right? That's really what it means. So if I were to go ahead and divide that using long division, it would be 2 divided into 1. All right. Now we are going to need to add a decimal here and a 0. And then I'm going to look at, okay, how many times does 2, since it doesn't go into 1, how many times does it go into 10? And it goes in 5 times. We go ahead and bring that decimal up right there. 5 times 2 gives me 10. When I subtract that, I don't have a remainder. So when I divided this, I got 0.5. or 0.5, which isn't that the same as 1/2? Oh my gosh. Now let's do it with some that we may not know off the top of our head like that. So what about 2/5? What is that as a decimal? Well, remember, this really means 2 divided by 5. When we do long division, our first number goes inside of our division box. So we have 2 in here. I'm wondering, how many times does 5 go into 2? Well, it doesn't really go into 2, right? So I'm going to make this 2.0 and bring that decimal right up there. How many times does 5 go into 20? Well, it goes 4 times. 4 times 5 is 20. And when I subtract, I get 0. So 2/5 as a decimal is 0.4. Look at that. Okay, what about 3/20? Well, remember, this means 3 divided by 20. And when I write that as long division, I'm asking myself, how many times does 20 go into 3? Well, 20 doesn't go into 3, right? So I'm going to have it be 3.0 and ask myself, after I put that decimal up there, how many times does 20 go into 30? Well, it goes once, right? 1 times 20 is 20. And when I subtract that, I get 10. Now, normally, because this isn't 0, I'm going to pull the next number down here, but there's nothing there. But I can add another 0, right? Just like that, and bring that 0 down. Now, how many times does 20 go into 100? Well, it goes 5 times. 5 times 20 gives me 100. I subtract and get 0. So my answer, what is 3/20 as a decimal, is 0.15. There we go. All right, one more. What is 7/8 as a decimal? This means 7 divided by 8. So by the way, if you are allowed a calculator, just put that in your calculator. But if you're not, that's what we're doing. So I'm asking myself, how many 8s are in 7? Well, 8 doesn't go into 7, so I'm going to add 0.0 and make sure I add the decimal up there. 8 goes into 70 8 times. 8 times 8 is 64. When I subtract that, I get 6. Okay, I'm going to add another 0 here to pull it down. 8 goes into 60 7 times. 7 times 8 is 56. When I subtract that, I get 4. Well, I still have a number down here that's not 0, so I'm going to bring down another 0. 8 goes into 40 5 times. 5 times 8 gives me 40. We subtract and end up with 0. So 7/8 as a decimal is 0.875. 5. All right, I hope that was helpful. Thanks.